You are. Good morning, good morning, good morning, bonjour. How are you doing today? And welcome. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't been here before, then thank you for coming along for the ride. This is Ken at 10. Every weekday, we broadcast live. I run an estate agency, and my name's Ken, hence Ken at 10. And we talk about all things property and news, what's going on in the world. How are you today? I hope you're well. Norbury, by the way, is between Streatham and Croydon in SW16. We're a Zone 3 commuter area full of lovely people. So if you're considering buying or renting, then you need to be talking to us. And if you're thinking about just the wider market, you want some advice, anything like that, you're always welcome to call us. Today is Ask JA Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we try and answer your questions. And this week, the question's been, how is the market generally? And that's the only question I've had in this week. Normally, we've got a number of questions to choose from. But this week, a couple of questions have been, how is the market? People considering buying, selling, renting. And I'll come on to that question in a moment. Weather here in SW16 is overcast. Just a little bit of rain around, but much, much warmer. It must be 10 or 12 degrees right now, whereas yesterday and the day before, quite cold. Things are picking up. We're heading towards springtime, which is great. The pandemic, can you believe the vaccination program? It's incredible, isn't it? People are being vaccinated all over the place. One of my colleagues here in the office actually got a vaccination, which is wonderful news. And gradually people are getting it, and we're coming out of this lockdown. There is more than a chink of light. There's a whole blaze of light coming down that tunnel now, and we can see an end to this, which is fantastic news. A couple of other things. If you're watching on Facebook, could you do us a favor? Could you review us on Facebook? I'd be very grateful if you would. We don't have many actual Facebook. We've got lots of reviews in other places, but not many on Facebook. So you know the rating bit where it says stars for the company? If you could click on that, if you know us and like us, we'd be grateful always for your support. We always are. Thank you very much. And of course, like and share if you're watching on another platform. A couple of bits of news today on the property side. Evictions doubled during winter lockdown. Hundreds of renters have been evicted during the latest COVID lockdown. I'm not sure how true this headline is. It comes from The Independent. And whilst I don't doubt that people are taking tenants to court that have been in arrears for more than 6 months, there's also a blanket ban on evictions by bailiffs. So unless people are actually walking out, I'm not quite sure about that headline. But meanwhile, it says that 500,000 are thought to have fallen behind with rent as a result of the coronavirus crisis, according to Resolution Foundation. And yeah, no doubt it's very tough out there, and we see that. And, you know, it seems to me that there's a real contrast. There's lots of people that are in a really positive situation. You know, they're working from home, they're doing well, they're actually saving money because they're not commuting, and their employers quite often are making this permanent. So, you know, in many cases, we're seeing people leave the area to move to greener areas, you know, outside of London, sometimes coastal areas, sometimes even country moves because they can telecommute. So fascinating change. And I don't think that the end of the lockdown will change that. I think this is a fundamental shift now that's been encouraged by the pandemic. And I think what we're going to see is far, far more people telecommuting, working from home, and the rise of the home office is going to become something that is permanent in most houses. So where people before might have looked for a 3-bedroom house, if they can afford to do so, they'll go for a 4-bedroom house. So they've got a specific and dedicated space to work from, maybe even a couple of studies if both are working from home. So an interesting change demographically. There's some interesting ones coming up as well, but we'll come on to those in a minute. Hampton's research reveals a new generation of buy-to-let investors as the next headline. And what they're saying is that the combination of the low interest rates and the pandemic has led to new people getting involved. And I think that might be because people are at home wondering what to do, thinking about new careers, new ventures, thinking about buy-to-let, which has been a stable investment right through the pandemic. For most landlords are not finding themselves in that position where they've got serious arrears in our experience. And in fact, it's one of the things that's remained very, very stable, with prices rising and rents remaining steady and maybe falling back slightly. Still represents a real stable investment for the future. And I think many young people are seeing that their pensions are going to struggle, and property is a great hedge against inflation, so that, you know, rents do whatever inflation does. So if rents are going up, salaries are going up, then what you'll find is that in retirement, it will be a similar ratio in our experience. And because, you know, there's an old saying, isn't there? Buy land, they're not making any more. You know, there are really good reasons why buy-to-let portfolio should form part of your retirement and investment planning, regardless of who you are and what you're doing, for sure. So yeah, they're saying that the Hamptons are saying that 50% of landlords purchased with a mortgage in the last 6 months of 2020. That's the highest share since the firm's records began. And what they're saying is it's tempting more first-time buyers back, first-time buy-to-let investors back into the market. And that's a reverse of portfolio landlords, that were the majority of people that were buying in the past, and that's record low interest rates and obviously the stamp duty holiday. Now, on to the main question of the day: the UK property market right now, how is it? Well, it's a weird one. We've had obviously a huge influx in sales and activity because of the stamp duty holiday, and that's starting to die off now. And what we're finding now is that there's a real shortage of the supply of new homes coming onto the market as people sit back. And, I've always said us Brits are good at doing one thing when we're not sure, or when there's a seismic shift on the horizon, and that is sitting back and thinking, well, we'll just wait and see. But there are good reasons why, following the herd isn't always the right thing to do. But certainly what we're finding right now is there's a shortage of new homes coming on the market. And I think it's a kind of three-pronged reasons why people aren't buying or selling right now. Number one is coming towards the end of the stamp duty holiday. People are worried what happens post that holiday. Do prices drop off significantly? Will there still be a market there? That's a real and valid concern we see. But also what we're finding is that wait and see attitude. Us Brits, if we're not sure, we're very good at doing one thing, and that's nothing, sitting on our hands and thinking, we'll just wait and see. Well, sometimes the right thing to do is the opposite of the herd mentality, because actually there are some great deals to be had. So because not many people are selling, there's also not many buyers out there looking to buy the second homes market. So if you're, for instance, moving up market, you might find that there's a luxury home available that surprises you, and that you're not one of 20 bidders, you're the bidder. So there are reasons why. And of course, you only need one buyer. That's the thing. There may not be hundreds of buyers lining up, but there are enough buyers out there to get your home sold and get you moved on. And if you add that to the fact that what we expect to happen is there's going to be an extension of 6 weeks to the deadline. That's what we expect to happen. And that means that stamp duty is free for 6 weeks after the end of March 31st, which in turn means that right now, 16th of February 2021, you've still got time. It can still be done. You can still buy and sell and take advantage of the stamp duty holiday. So why wouldn't you? And so be interesting to see where anyone takes that advice. But, I do think it's important that you get the right things. You've got to use the right lender. You need good mortgage advice, number one. Number two, you need a fantastic solicitor that's going to push it for you and make sure they're switched on and are going to react immediately as you need them to. And most importantly, you need an agent that's going to get you there across the line, sold, under offer, so you can move your dreams and plans forward. And that's what we're here for. So if you need help on that, let us know. And there are so many ways of doing it as well. That's what I love about the market these days. We've got off-plan strategies, on-plan strategies, auctions. We do them all. And quite often, on speaking to somebody, it becomes clear what the best method is for them to sell. And it's not the same for everybody. For some people, the most important thing is to get under offer really quickly because they've got a home that they love and they're going to lose if they don't do something about it. And sometimes, auction can be the best method for those people because the people they're buying from, their sellers, actually want assurances that they're moving it forward in a way that gives them a definite sale very soon. And in other instances, there is no rush and they just want to find a nice home and they want to make sure they're achieving the best possible price. I would say now's a very good time to move because this stamp duty holiday is not going to go on forever. We still have time to do it. Yes, there will be some winners and losers along the way, but if you're smart with your selection of mortgage, solicitor, and agent, there's a very, very strong chance you could get over the line before this thing ends. So my advice would be get on it now and get on it with somebody that can make sure and support you through it and get you over the line. That's it for today. So hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you do, please like and share, and remember to rate us on Facebook, and we'll be back tomorrow, same time for another Ken at 10. Until then, have a fantastic day and keep your family safe and well.